Hi guys, it's Silver Wolf. Am I in the same clothes as my August haul? Yes. Is the only thing that I changed about this is that I took off my glasses? Yes. So, anyways, this video is, like I just said, it's filmed right after my August haul video, just because I have a lot of books. I have a lot of books that I still haven't read. I did film, because I just checked, I did film a TBR that I never ended up filming. I'm pretty sure, or never ended up editing. I'm pretty sure I filmed it around May time? I don't know because, hang on, let me check the manga. Oh, that's been a while. Okay, so that's that was actually a lot longer than I thought it was. How I'm gauging this is that, if you can kind of see up in this shelf, is my Yuna of the Dawn manga series. I'm all up to date currently. I'm so excited for the next volume. I love this series so much. But the last TBR that I filmed, the first book that I had shown in the video was Yuna of the Dawn volume 29, I'm pretty sure. Volume 29. I have up to volume 36 now, and they come out like every 2 months. So I filmed that way longer than I actually thought I did, and I never ended up editing it, and it was mostly because of lack of motivation and the fact that I didn't have an editing software at the time. So I just ended up deleting that because everything's being updated now. Before I actually get into the TBR, I am going to say that I've gotten rid of a few manga volumes. What did I get rid of again? The I Love You 2 volumes that I had, because I don't really have an interest in the manga. I like the anime, but the manga, I feel like it's too long for what the story is. Like, I feel like it's unnecessarily long. For Yuna of the Dawn, it makes sense for it to have 36 volumes in my opinion, and more, because of the plot. It's fantasy, it's adventure and things like that. It's not just romance. I feel like I Love You is just romance, and having it be in like the 20 volumes feels unnecessary. I'm also getting rid of my Harry Potter books. I still also have my Game of Thrones, the first 2 books, up on my Depop as well. I've been trying to get rid of them for a while. Just not interested in Game of Thrones. It's too gross for me. Oh, it's starting to rain. Yay. So if you hear like pitter patter, and that's just the rain. It's already gross in the TV show, like the shit that happens. With Daenerys specifically, I'm just so uncomfortable to read it because she's meant to be 14. Like fucking 14. And she gets married off, is raped. He's a full grown ass adult and she doesn't want to do it. She's raped. Like, there's a whole load of shit that happens with Daenerys. Having it being visualized as a 14-year-old, I'm not comfortable with that at all. I do like the fact that they made her older in the TV show, because it's a little easier to handle. Yeah, it's done now. Like, the TV show's done, thank God, because they fucked it up. Oh, That Wolf Boy is mine, and volume 1, and Blue Exorcist volume 1 I also have there. So they're all up in my Depop. If anyone wants to buy those books, go have fun. So I'm gonna go through all of my books, my TBR list. I'm gonna start with the manga volumes because that's just easier to get that overall. So yeah, let's start with my manga, which is quite a few of them. These are the first little square shelf that I'm gonna go through. The first 5 volumes that are up here are Komi Can't Communicate. But yeah, I have the first 5 volumes of Komi Can't Communicate, which is about a girl with very severe social anxiety. I'm pretty sure it's sort of like selective mutism. It doesn't really say, but she has such severe social anxiety that she cannot speak. Like, she physically can't speak to people that she doesn't know. So I think that's considered some form of selective mutism. I'll put up like a description of what being selectively mute is, if anyone doesn't know. But it's about a girl with severe social anxiety and who meets this other character, who decides to help her with her dream, which is to make 100 friends, which I think is just a really cute thing. But also, I have really bad social anxiety, so I've always been interested in this. I do know there's a series as well, an anime series. I got like this far into the first volume. A lot of the details on the way, like the characters are drawn, I think is so cute and funny. Like this is her being awkward and he's like, I don't know how to react to that. The next thing I have is a standalone 5 centimeters per second. I actually don't really know what the storyline is based off of the back of it, but I do know that it involves like 2 people who are friends as kids and then they grow apart and they use letters to communicate kind of thing, and then they meet up again later in life, something like that. But I'll read the blurb anyways, but I still don't really get the plot unless I'm just stupid and it goes right over my head. Remember a time before cell phones could be found in every pocket, or when even accessing the World Wide Web was something only readily available in a library? Back then, letters still filled up postboxes, and moments just felt so much more precious when captured on Polaroid film. Now life seems to move at the speed of light. Our memories are captured and shared with the world on social media platforms, and love, which is already capricious, Capricorn, can feel like it is moving at terminal velocity. So yeah, 5 centimeters per second. That's what I mean. You don't really get the plot from the blurb. I'm pretty sure it's about 2 friends who grew up together. One of them moves away and they use letters to communicate, and then they end up being more distant, but later in life they end up meeting up again at some point. I'm pretty sure that that's the plot, but yeah, I'm excited, but I'm also kind of dreading it because of the fact that I can't look up the plot without it being spoiled. So the next volume is volume 1 of Those Not So Sweet Boys. I've been wanting to read this because it seems quite cute, to be honest. I don't know, I just think it's quite cute, but I also love the bad boy trope. Not when they're actual assholes. That's not being a bad boy, that's just being a piece of shit. These kind of ones where they skip class sometimes, maybe because class is shit, to be honest. The whole thing about the rule of like, you're not allowed to have a part-time job when you're a student, even if it's just to help your family, like that's fucking weird. And I think it's wrong of the chairman of the school to use that against her. But that starts the whole plot. But I am interested in reading that. Then I have volume 2 of Waiting for Spring. I'm gonna have to reread volume 1 because it's been a little while before I read it. I do remember a lot of it, but just to get it refreshed so I can read the second volume. So I do actually really like this character. Oh shit. I really like this character. And I like the girl character too. I think she's really cute. But I did really like the first volume, so I'm excited to read the second one. This was one of the cases where I only read the first volume and I only bought the first volume. Then I went on to the second one. The next thing is actually 2 volumes of the same series of I Hear the Sunspot. This one is just called I Hear the Sunspot, and this one's I Hear the Sunspot Limit 1. So I don't actually know what the order is. I do know that this one has 2 other volumes to it, the Limit series. So I'm not sure which one is first. But it's a boys love? BL. I'm pretty sure this is a BL of 2 boys love story. I don't know, I just think it sounds really cute. I do think there might be some sad moments, it gives me that vibe, but I'm really excited to read it. But I am waiting to get all of the volumes since it's only like a 5-volume series, so I'm waiting to get all of them to read the full thing. This is only a 1-volume thing because I haven't seen any other volumes, but it's called Mama Akuma. I don't know, it just looks quite funny and cute. I don't know, I just think it sounds really cute. Like this demon guy who grants wishes, and this little girl, I'm assuming that she's like an orphan maybe, and she just wants a mom figure, and she's like, will you be my mommy? It's so cute, and it's so short too. I still haven't read it. I know there's a second volume, I can't find it anywhere. It just seems quite cute and I'm excited to read it. The next one is A Sign of Affection volume 4. I do know volume 5 is also out, I think. I just haven't got it yet because it's not in stock. Haven't read the 4th volume yet. I have read the other 3. I have the other 3. And it's about a girl. Yuki is deaf. She does have hearing aids, but it's mostly to do with sounds, and sometimes she can't differentiate what the sounds are and where they're coming from. But she's deaf and she uses sign language to speak. This is actual sign language that's used in the manga, so I find that very interesting. But she's very shy and awkward, and she ends up meeting Itsumi. Yeah, Itsumi, this guy, who's like the typical looks cold but is actually really chill. Like when you first see him, you'd be like, okay, he looks like he might be a bit of an asshole, but once he starts talking, it's like, oh, he's actually quite chill. Like there's nothing that gives off bad vibes now. It's just really cute. It's about them falling for each other, and it's just very sweet. She's a deaf person using sign language who's never traveled anywhere, and then he is actually a traveler. Like, he lives in Japan, yes, but he travels a lot. She wants to know about the outside world and he wants to know about her world from her perspective. I don't know, I just think that's a really cute concept. Plus, it seems really sweet, to be honest. It feels like a genuine connection between the characters, and it's just really cute to read. Okay, the next one is actually 2 square shelves because I had these separated. So the first series I have here up at the top, Snow White with the Red Hair. I have volumes 1 through 8. I started volume 1, or did I finish it? Yeah. I started volume 2. I've watched the anime, the 2 seasons that it has, and I love it. I still love it. The manga I just haven't really gotten into yet. It has more stuff in it, I'm pretty sure. Again, I have a lot of stuff to read. It's a love, obviously it's a love story, but it's also a really good friendship. Like, they start as friends that develops into romance, and I think it feels very real. I love their chemistry, but also I love Zen's relationship with these two. They're his aides, or like bodyguards basically, but it's so funny to watch. I definitely recommend the anime if you aren't really a reader, but I only have the first 8 volumes. I'm pretty sure there's 19 volumes right now, and I still need to get through these first 8 first. The next 3 I have, I've actually read the first one. I just need to read these other 2, and there's 13 volumes. It's already finished. Haru Ride. I actually wanted to get the anime, the DVD, but it's vanished now. I don't have anything that plays Blu-ray, so I can't actually watch anything that's on Blu-ray. I was looking for the DVD version of it. I think this is actually a really good series. Also has an anime. I do think that there's communication problems, and I don't know if they're dealt with that well because I don't really remember how they're dealt with in the anime, and I haven't read all of the volumes yet. I only have 3, but I do love the romance and I love the characters. I just don't remember how the communication is dealt with because Ko does have he has family issues that he's working through. I do remember that. Hello. I just don't remember how it's handled. So the next thing I have is Noragami. I only have the first 7 volumes because this is also very long. It's a very simple premise, but basically he's a god. Noragami, like Nora is stray and Gami is god in Japanese. Stray god, Noragami. He is a stray god. He doesn't have a shrine, and then he ends up running into Hiyori. Very surprised. I'm trying to say it without spoiling the series. He ends up running into her, or she ends up running into him, really, and they end up getting stuck with each other for a very supernatural reason. This is Yukine. He's the 3rd main character. Again, also has an anime. It has 2 seasons. From volume 1 to volume 12, I'm pretty sure that encompasses both seasons, and it has like 25 volumes. These are the next 2 bookshelves of manga. These are the last of my manga actually, because I'm all up to date with my Yona of the Dawn volumes, so I'm not bringing any of them down. I do reread them a lot though because they're so good. Definitely recommend Yona of the Dawn. It only has 1 season. I do recommend you watch it though. I'm still waiting on season 2. The first thing we have here is the first 2 volumes of Final Fantasy Lost Stranger. I like Final Fantasy. I wanted to read the books, so that's literally it. I just really love Final Fantasy. The next one is actually a 2-set series kind of. This is Fairy Tale's like side like comedy comics. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are like side stories. I only have the first 4 volumes of the main Fairy Tale series, and they also have the 100 Years Quest. It also has an anime. Definitely recommend it. I do know a lot of people hate Fairy Tale because of repetitiveness and like power of friendship, but I don't know, I just love it. I really enjoy it. Basically, Lucy is a runaway and she wants to join Fairy Tale because that's her favorite guild. She's always wanted to join Fairy Tale. She ends up meeting Natsu, not knowing he's a member of Fairy Tale, and then he ends up getting involved whenever she gets stuck in the clutches of that gang, and ends up getting her into Fairy Tale, and that's the whole start of it. And they're all just to do with magic and wizards and stuff, so I like Fairy Tale. So the next one is Assassin's Creed Dynasty, Volume 1. I really like Assassin's Creed. Saw this, grabbed it. The next one is Assassin's Creed Blade of Shao Jun. And I know she's the character in Embers, Ezio's little like send-off kind of movie. The Ezio collection, is that what it's called? I forget. Shao Jun. shows up in the movie and she takes on the responsibility from Ezio in his last years of his life. There is a second volume and I haven't finished this. I've started it, but I've only gotten like 4 pages in. There is a second volume to this and I do plan to get that. Again, I like Assassin's Creed, so I got it. The next volume is the first volume of Tokyo Ghoul, which also has an anime. Highly regret it. Highly recommend it. So yeah, I've been looking for this for ages. Finally found the first volume. I like Tokyo Ghoul. So I got it. The next thing is Attack on Titan. I only have the first 2 volumes of the manga, and then I have Levi's side story, No Regrets, in colored edition. You can get this in black and white as 2 volumes like this, but I wanted to get the colored edition. Yeah, so this is one of the characters in Attack on Titan, one of the badass characters. This is a prequel, or how he comes into this story basically. I just think it's very sad, but it's also very enlightening to how he behaves, really, and how he got there in the first place, like how he got into the scout regiment. A very interesting story. Also has an anime, highly recommend it. I haven't seen season 4, I think there's a season 5, I don't really remember. Haven't watched it yet. I love how the story goes. I know a lot of people don't like season 3, or at least they don't like the first half of season 3 because it goes more into the politics with the humans and doesn't really involve the Titans. I actually really liked it because it goes into the politics. Like, it's not just about fighting Titans, like you get to know a bit more of the in-depth part within the walls. So this is my next set of books. Most of these are hardbacks, there's just one paperback at the top. The first one is Assassin's Creed The Secret Crusade. I know that this is supposed to be the 3rd book. You're supposed to read Ezio's first 2 books and then this one because it's Ezio reading about Altair. But I got this one first because it was Altair and he's the first assassin we meet, but I love Assassin's Creed. So I don't know if I'm going to make a video on them. I might, I don't know, but yeah, I like Assassin's Creed. What can I say? The next one I have is Daughter of the Pirate King. It does have a second book. Daughter of the Siren Queen, I'm pretty sure, is the second book. Readers should rejoice because we now have a Lady Jack Sparrow on our hands. So apparently she gives off Jack Sparrow vibes. I'll be the judge of that. I like pirate stuff. Sounds interesting, so I got it. It's like a running theme. The next one I have is To Kill a Kingdom because I've been looking for like an enemies to lovers romance that's actually good and not problematic as fuck, and apparently this is a really good one. So this is a enemies to lovers book. I'm aware of that and I'm very interested to read it because I like the trope of enemies to lovers, but a lot of people don't really write it well. The next one is These Violent Delights, which this is the first book. There is a second book, Our Violent Ends, I'm pretty sure is the second one's called. So yeah, this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai with rival gangs and a monster in the depths of the Huangpu River. So I'm pretty sure Roma Montagov is Russian and Juliet is Chinese. So I find that quite interesting that it's a retelling, but they also changed like where they're from. The next one I have is Gods and Monsters, the 3rd book to the Serpent and Dove series. I do have the other 2 books over there. I've already read them. I'm probably gonna reread them though to be able to get up to date on this. Star-Crossed Lovers. Lou, I don't know how you pronounce her name because her name's Louise, but she goes by L-O-U. So I don't know if that's Lou or Louise. I don't fucking know. Long story short, Lou is a witch on the run from her mom. She ends up getting married to Reed, who is a witch hunter. He doesn't know she's a witch. In order to protect herself, they fall in love. And that's it. That's the beginning of the story, without spoiling too much of it. It is quite dark and it annoys the shit out of me a lot of the time, especially the second book. I already started the series, I already got to the second book. May as well finish it. The next one I have is The Plague Letters, which this one is about a plague. Clearly, always thought that was very interesting, but also the top thing caught my attention. It says, who would murder the dying? That caught my attention, plus it's gorgeous. This is a gorgeous cover. I don't know why, I just love the look of it. It looks kind of medieval. The next one I have is called The Other Black Girl. I'm pretty sure this is also a horror thriller kind of book. I really wanted to read this. Again, I have too many things to read, so I don't really have an order of which one I'm going to read next. The next one I have here is The Hunting Party. which is a thriller. I think that's a really good plot to try and figure out who the fuck did it. See how it goes. But here's the next set of books. First set is the 3-part series of the Shadow and Bone trilogy of the Grishaverse. So I've had these 3 books for a while. I just never started reading them. Well, actually, I did start Shadow and Bone and I got very bored very quickly. What my aim was actually for was these 2 books, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, which is the duology that follows Shadow and Bone, because apparently this is actually really good and people have commonly said that this is better than the first 3, but I feel like I need to read the first 3 to be able to understand what the fuck is happening in here. But it follows a set of different characters. And then Rule of Wolves, I'm missing a book, but this is again the next duology that follows Six of Crows. I'm pretty sure it follows this duology. I don't know if this is a prequel. Is it a prequel? This and Rule of Kings? No, King of Scars. And they came out after the Six of Crows. I did also want to get this because look how beautiful that is. The next thing I have here is Red Wolf, which is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. I really enjoy Little Red Riding Hood retellings. Probably one of my favorite ones, even though I haven't read any. I just find her story fascinating. The next one I have is Our Wives Under the Sea. I'm pretty sure this is a thriller. Apparently a mix of a horror and a love story, which is very interesting. Also, this cover is really, really interesting as well. I know it's getting darker. Bear with me. I'm trying to rush through the rest of these because I know you can still see me, of course, but if I turn on the light, then it'll be a constant glare behind me. The next one I have is The Year of the Witching. I keep forgetting if it's The Year of Witching or The Year of the Witching. Just thought it was very interesting. Plus, I love witch stories. One thing I will say though, and this is just a bit of a personal pet peeve, why is that orange in here? Like, it doesn't fit with the color palette at all. Why is it orange? The next one I have is Six Crimson Cranes, which I've been wanting to read this for a while, just never got the chance to. So this also seems to be a enemies to lovers kind of story as well, which is very interesting. So this is the next one. You would notice which one's which, like, immediately. First thing is the Twilight series. I don't have Life and Death or Midnight Sun. 1, because I don't want them in the physical. 2, I haven't decided if I'm going to read them yet, but I'm actually reading these I'm trying to get them all in one video, doing a reaction to all of them. I've already finished the first one, as you can see, from all the fucking tabs. Yeah, this is the one, this is the series I'm currently reading, because I want to get through them all, just to get them over and done with. But I am trying to make them into all one video. I don't know if that's going to work though, because it's quite a long story. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books all in one video, and I'm going chapter by chapter. I don't know if that's gonna work, so I might have to do it book by book, with having Bree's short story in along with Eclipse's video, because I actually only realized this while flipping through it. The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner doesn't have any chapters. Like, it's just one whole book, so this will be quite quick, plus it is really short. I'll have this one in along with Eclipse. I think I will have to go book by book, but I was aiming to get it all in one. But anyway, everyone knows what the Twilight series is about. Basically, we follow this really stupid and boring human person called Bella Swan, who moved to Forks to live with her dad for a period of time because her mum and her new boyfriend are wanting to travel because he's a minor league baseball player. When she's there, she ends up meeting Edward Cullen, everyone's favorite heartthrob, who's boring as fuck and very possessive and creepy. You can tell what I feel like just from the first book, and she becomes obsessed with him, which is supposed to be romantic. Watch my video on it, you'll know how I feel about that. But yeah, I only have the main 4 books and Bree's short story, which is actually the one I'm the most excited to read because I really like Bree. I wish she was kept in the story. I also wanted to read this because I really want to see Seth. Seth's my favorite character, but apparently in Break and Dawn he has a few more interactions with the Cullens and his relationship with them and stuff, and there's a lot of scenes even in the first book that are taken out of the movie, which I think they should have been kept in the movie. Again, you'll see my opinion if you watch the video. I haven't edited it yet, so it's not going to go out for a while. The next one I have here is the Mortal Instruments series. This is Falling. I have the 6 books of the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. I remember starting the first one. This is a theme. I got a couple of pages in and stopped. I literally got to page 14 and stopped. I do know what the twist is. I'm aware of what it is, so I'll have opinions when it gets to that depending on how the characters react, but I do know what the twist is within regards to the forbidden love thing. Yeah, so we follow Clary Frey, who's just your ordinary girl, but she starts drawing this rune randomly, and her mum realizes that she's starting to remember stuff. We're gonna have to tell her. We don't know what that plan is yet because she goes out for her birthday, her 18th birthday. Her 18th birthday with her friend Simon. She goes out to the club. At the club, she witnesses a murder, and she's the only one who can see it. And that starts the whole thing. I don't know if that's how it happens in the book. It happens in the movie and in the TV show, so it must happen in the book, I'm assuming. But yeah, I'm also gonna make videos on these. Again, it'll probably end up being book by book. I haven't figured out a format yet of these videos, but for the first Twilight book, I updated every chapter that I read, just updated at the end of every chapter. I don't know, it depends, because I also repeat myself a lot in Twilight video, because I filmed it all. I finished the first book, thank fuck for that. And I haven't gone into New Moon yet, because I'm waiting until some Twilight stickers arrive. I know that sounds weird, but I have a book reading journal that I'm doing, and I bought Twilight stickers for this book series so that I can put the stickers in. And I haven't finished writing my review, basically, in my opinion, on the first Twilight book. I have it in my book. I wrote it in my notes so that I wouldn't forget what I felt like in the moment. That's a lot of tabs. I'll give you a hint. Yellow is for problematic. That's the start of the book. This is the end of the book. It's not as bad at the beginning, but it gets worse. Especially in the middle, it's really fucking bad. But yeah, so that's those ones. And now going on to the last set of books. So this is our last pile of books. Dun, 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 which is definitely the most that I've shown all in one go, I think. Maybe. Actually, compared to the manga volumes, it might be the same amount. First off, you might see a pattern. Well, not really here because the other ones I've read already. But I really like zombie apocalypse stories. I already have 3 books. 2 is a duo series. I got both the paperbacks and the hardbacks of that duology, which is Undead and Unfed by Kirsty McKay. I don't think it's the best story ever. I really like it though. Guilty pleasure. I also have Sick by Tom Levine. Really loved it. Very easy to read. You can read it all in one go. But I bought this because it's another zombie series. It has multiple books though. It has 5 books, it seems like, based on the back. It has 5 books overall. Yeah, so this is like a zombie post-apocalyptic kind of story. I don't know if it's any good. I haven't started reading it yet. The next thing I have is a very short one. There's three books to this. Is Under the Hawthorn Tree. I grew up watching this in primary school. It's a very sad story, but it's about the famine that happened in Ireland. It's really short, but it's quite sad. Oh, it's about Peggy. Okay. Under the Hawthorn Tree, the story of surviving the Great Famine. Wildflower girl Peggy immigrates to America to find work, so it's about Peggy. Fields of home, facing the future, the fight for land, working with horses in the Wild West. I really love this story. It's about the Irish famine. I am Irish, if anyone couldn't figure that out by my accent. I've always wanted to read these. I wanted to get the movie as well, but you can't really get the movie anywhere. It's very, very old. The next book I have is Cinderella is Dead, a retelling on Cinderella. Another LGBT one. Thankfully. These are really hard to find. It's not to do with the LGBT aspect of it. If the story plot doesn't grab me, then I don't really read it, even if I want to read LGBT relationship related stories. So I'm happy I found a couple, like I think I found this one, Our Wives Under the Sea. I hear the Sunspot. So I found 3 stories so far that has LGBT relationships that I have an interest in, and I feel really bad about that because I want to read more, but the plot, you have to get me with the plot itself. It can't just be, because I find like if it's like set in modern day, I don't really read it. I like supernatural aspects or like adventurous aspects. I don't really read normal life stories because I find them very boring. I get bored very, very easily. That's why these kind of ones grab me, because they're not, this isn't necessarily supernatural. I don't think it is. I'm excited to read it because I do want to read more LGBT stories. So the next one I have is The Gilded Ones. The first book. I know this is a series. I don't know how many books there are right now. I'm definitely sure there's a second one. Contains material that some readers may find disturbing. Finally, I found a book that has some sort of trigger warning. No books have fucking trigger warnings. It's not that difficult. This is the first book I've seen that has an actual trigger warning. The Gilded Ones include scenes of violence, including some graphic violence, which some readers may find disturbing. The next one I have is The Deathless Girls. Didn't know this was a Dracula retelling. I'm getting really tired now. But that's the death. The next one I have is Vampire Academy, the first book. I actually, unpopular opinion, I actually don't mind the movie. I don't think it's fantastic, but I actually think it's quite funny. I haven't read it yet. I do remember reading like a couple of pages in school. I thought it was okay, but I did actually quite like the movie. I know a lot of people hate the movie. The next two books, this is also a guilty pleasure, is The Last Vampire, basically book 1 and 2 and book 3 and 4, because they're 2 in 1 kind of books. This is a guilty pleasure. I don't think it's written very well. I think that the main character is quite interesting, although you can definitely tell it was written by a man, which Christopher Pike. Not the best at writing women, in my opinion. She's very, 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 very sexualized. She's a badass, but she's very hypersexualized, and you can just tell from the writing. Even if you hadn't seen his name, you would know that it was written by a man. Along with the fact, I don't know why people keep over-sexualizing vampires as if they're the most sexiest thing ever. So basically it's a vampire who's been alive for like 5,000 years and someone's now trying to hunt her to kill her. I do remember reading the last book in the series, Thirst, like reading the full thing through, which is quite funny, like starting at the last book, and I didn't hate it. I quite liked it, but I was also like 13 when I read it. But I find the plot part, like the plot point behind the vampires and the lore, very interesting. The next book I have is House of Hollow, which is like a horror thriller kind of book. Very interested in that book. The next one I have is oh my god. I haven't ate anything all day and it's like 9 o'clock at night now. That's why I'm getting a headache. I'm getting a hunger headache. That's why I'm so low on energy now. So I apologize. But I'm almost done. The Prison Healer. So I've been wanting to read that one for quite a while. The next one I have is The Maze Runner, the first book in the series. I haven't gotten the other 3. I'm pretty sure there's another one to that as well. But I only got the first one because I was in Waterstones. I saw it. I bought it. I love the movies. Always wanted to read the books to find out what happened. Oh, I was on chapter 3 and I stopped. The next one I have is For the Wolf. This is the other Red Riding Hood like retelling. Well, that's cute. I like at the start of every chapter you see the wolf above it. That's cute. This is not a test. I'm pretty sure this is a zombie story. Apparently this also deals with someone, like the main character, dealing with depression and suicidal ideation. Don't know if that is true or not. Hello. This is just going to be a quick one just to get this over with. Because I bought a few more books in August that I'm just going to include in this video, the TBR video. I already filmed the actual haul video. So I'm gonna go through the manga first. I have the first 2 volumes of Love of Kill. Pretty sure this is enemies to lovers. The premise interested me. I wanted to read it, so I bought it. The next one is Orange, the second collection, because I was gonna get the first one. I ended up not getting it, thinking I'm gonna get it next week, and then it went out of stock. Found the second one, got it. I do know that the premise is Naho starts getting letters from her future self warning her about things that are gonna happen and telling her what to do to change them, and her other friends are also getting letters from their future selves. I'm gonna wait until I get the first complete collection because it's quite short, so I may as well just get the whole thing. The next one I got was Mars Red, which is about vampires, and this girl Aoi's friend turns out to be a vampire and he's trying to protect her or something like that based on the back of it. I like vampires. I don't really see that many vampire stories in manga other than really uncomfortable ones, so I hope this isn't uncomfortable because Vampire Night traumatized me. The next one is Daytime Shooting Star, the first volume. I've been wanting to read this for quite a while. I do know this has like multiple love interests, which is not something I really like, to be completely honest. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's good or not, because I don't like it when characters who are like genuinely nice people who are involved in like a love triangle or a love square end up getting hurt when they don't deserve it. The Mad Women's Ball. You can watch my haul if you want to read the back. I just couldn't, I'm too tired to actually go through it properly. But it's a very short book. It's 210 pages because it won't take me that long to read it. The next one is Ariadne, which is Greek mythology, I think. Yes, Greek mythology retellings. This has been praised quite a lot. I've wanted to read it for a while and I almost got the hardback, and then I just couldn't find it, but then I found the paperback version, so we'll just see how it goes and see if I like it or not. But either way, both of the paperback and hardback are very beautiful. And then the last one I have is The Book Thief. I remember seeing this in the school library constantly and wanting to read it and just never got the chance to, so I got it so that I can finally read it. This has also been praised quite a lot. I'm trying to edit to get videos out to try and start a consistency. The timeline of things is going to be off because I'm filming ahead of time, so I apologize for that. It'll be like that until I get into a proper consistency, so then I have videos that'll be filmed in the same month as it's uploaded in. Oh! One book I forgot because I joined Fairy Loot and I got my first Fairy Loot box, and Violet Made of Thorns, Tell Me Lies was August's theme, and this was the book that came with it. The sprayed pages are gorgeous, but I think it works well because the character of Violet is wearing like purple, and then her love interest Cyrus is a ginger. The art as well is very pretty. Like the actual book itself is very, very pretty. I was gonna film an unboxing and then I just didn't. Oh, there's a bookmark! But I got too excited for this one, so I ended up just opening it myself. So that's the remaining of my TBR. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike, even though I'm the only one that can see that. If you want to see more of my future content, click subscribe. If you want to be updated on the next time I upload, if YouTube decides to tell you, click the little notification bell. It should update you. Take care of yourself and have a good day, and take care of the pack while I'm away. Bye!